So Oppo has launched its new smartphone, the Oppo F5, and like all the Oppo smartphones, it is also a selfie-centric phone. But compared to the Oppo F3, which was the previous phone, the Oppo F5 comes only with a single camera at the front. And to compensate for that, Oppo says that it is using artificial intelligence-based software to take good selfies. So in this video, we're going to unbox the Oppo F5. You're watching India Today Tech. Let's get started. First of all, let's take a quick look at the specs. The phone has AI beauty technology that I was talking about. It has a MediaTek chipset with 4 GB of RAM and 32 GB of storage. The phone has a 6-inch Full HD Plus display with facial unlock technology as well. The phone is available at 19,990 rupees, and there will also be 64 GB variant which is priced at rupees 24,990. So this is the Oppo F5, guys. The phone is slightly bigger than what we have seen previously in the Oppo F3, but it also has a bezel-less design, so it will be slightly smaller than what you would expect a 6-inch phone to be. Let's open up the phone, take it out of the wraps, and here is the Oppo F5, guys. It is made out of a metal unibody design, and there's also a fingerprint scanner at the back, which is kind of made in shape of a finger tip, and the antenna lines are also done differently this time, while the camera is protruding out. Let's take a look at the other box contents, and we'll also take a look at the smartphone. So first up in the box, we have some documentation which includes the quick guide and important safety information and a back cover. We'll snap it on later. Then it has a big power adapter. As you can see, it's a travel charger which has a 2 ampere of output rating. Next, the phone has earphones bundled with them. They are earbud style earphones, as you can see, plain white glossy earphones, and they have a mic and button to end the call, but there are no volume controls on them. Next, there is a micro USB cable. So of course the phone has a micro USB port, so this is the cable you get with the phone. Let's take a look at the phone now. So the Oppo F5, as we saw, has a 6-inch display. It has Full HD Plus resolution because of the 18:9 aspect ratio that you get on a receded bezel-less design. It's not completely bezel-less, as you can see. The bezels are slightly narrow at the top and bottom, and very less on the corners as well, but it's not completely bezel-less like the Xiaomi Mi Mix 2. But then again, it's a smartphone priced under 20,000 rupees, and currently the phones available in this price segment from Huawei, that is the Honor 9i, which comes at a similar price tag of around 18,000, and the LG Q6 Plus. While the Honor 9i has dual cameras at the back, the Oppo F5 has a single camera. It's a 16 megapixel camera which comes with face detection, autofocus, and single LED flash as well. Next, at the front, it has a 20 megapixel camera that Oppo says lives up to its selfie expert promise, but we'll be seeing this later in the video how good the front camera is. Under the hood, the phone has a MediaTek MT6763T processor, which is an octa-core chipset with 32 GB storage on the base variant, which is also expandable via micro SD card. And the storage expansion doesn't take an extra slot because the phone still supports 2 SIM cards and a micro SD card simultaneously in a single tray, as you can see. Inside, the phone also packs a 3200 mAh battery, but we're not sure if it will be able to run its 6-inch display for long enough or for a whole day, but that we'll be letting you know in our full review. Also, the phone runs the Android 7.1.1, and on top, as you can see, the phone runs the Color OS, which is Oppo's proprietary interface that it layers on top of the Android. In terms of the build quality, the phone seems to be built pretty solid. It's a metal unibody design, as you can see. There are no plastic inserts on the device, but then again, there are some corners cut. For example, at the front, you won't get a Corning Gorilla Glass compared to other smartphones from Nokia and Motorola. Also, the antenna lines seem to be not perfectly integrated. It might appear good to some people, but it's not the best design we have seen in this price range. Coming to the ports, at the bottom the phone has a micro USB port, which is again an older technology. There is a speaker grill on the side with a 3.5 mm jack on the other side and a microphone. At the top there is the secondary microphone for noise cancellation. On the right side there is the power key, which is fairly tactile, and the SIM tray we just opened. And on the left side there is the volume rocker, which is again quite a tactile button. Also, a thing to note is that the front part of the screen is not seamlessly melded into the back part. You can see there is a difference in the back or the frame of the phone and the front part that holds the display. This could be a design flaw, but we'll be letting you know in the coming weeks how this phone performs when it comes to sturdity and build quality, if it's made to last or not. The Oppo's Color OS is a far cry from Android's stock interface. The notification panel is moved to the bottom. Then again, we have iterated this thing in the past, that how closely the Color OS resembles the iOS, that is the Apple's iPhone's operating system. And you can see this in the settings menu as well, how the apps and the listing is all done very similar to the iPhone. There are preloaded apps on the phone as well, like the videos, music, and the phone manager that lets you control the background running applications. There's also an Oppo App Store and a bunch of tools which are similar to what you see on the MIUI from Xiaomi. Coming to the display, the phone seems to have average brightness levels. It is an LCD panel, so of course the brightness is not as good as that of the Moto Z2 Play, for example, which has the same price as the 64GB variant of Oppo F5. The Moto phone itself seems a much better proposition than the Oppo F5, but we keep that comparison for another day. The colors on the Oppo F5's display don't look bad, but they are not very vivid either. We have seen better displays in this price segment. Also, the screen is quite smudgy and attracts a lot of fingerprints. It is not a Corning Gorilla Glass, so you may find the touchscreen as well not very smooth, as we saw on other mid-range phones like the Mi A1 or the Moto G5s Plus. The cameras on the Oppo F5 is something you may look forward to, especially the front camera. We tested it for a brief time in all lighting situations, and it does perform well. Not just because it can capture good details or colors, that it certainly does, but because it is able to perfectly detect a human face irrespective of the lighting conditions. This shot, taken against extreme light, doesn't let the face go dark, which quite surprised us. The same photos taken from the iPhone 7 and the Galaxy Note 8's front cameras look something like this. These shots taken against the sun also come out well. The camera does have great dynamic range to get the sun clearly in the background, but then it prioritizes the face and makes it brighter. The camera performs face detection as soon as you get in the frame, even if your face is in the corner. There's also a depth effect mode available for the front camera on the Oppo F5, which tries hard to naturally blur the background. It does get a depth effect, but it doesn't look as natural as you would see on dual camera implementations. It is just a soft blur that clearly appears a work of software, and a rather shoddy one at that. Anyways, the front camera is good overall. It can capture good details and colors, is what we found from our initial testing. It is better than the back camera, of course, which also does a good job in low light but doesn't have good enough details. The back camera also has a slightly wider aperture at f1.8, while the front camera has an aperture of f2.0. But then again, Oppo phones are all about selfie cameras, and the Oppo F5 is no different. The good part is that this time around, Oppo has put less of gimmickry and more of stuff in the camera department that works. We are yet to test the full capabilities of the phone, particularly in the performance department, where we think the phone would be not as amazing as ones in this price segment. One thing that we can say straight away is that the build quality of Oppo F5 is definitely not amazing. It is good enough only for a sub 12,000 rupee phone. In this price range, we have seen much better devices like the Moto G5s Plus or the Mi A1, both of which have much better build quality. We will be doing all the comparisons in the coming days, so make sure you hit the subscribe button to get all these videos directly to your inbox. Also, if you have liked this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you have any questions about the Oppo F5, write to us in the comment section below. Thank you for watching this video and have a nice day.